Hey, 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 happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by thegaminggang.com. Tonight is Monday, November 22nd. This is live stream 719. Should point out, last Wednesday I thought it was episode 719. It was not. It was 718. I was, I guess jumping into the future or something like that. Anyway, if this is your first time joining me, let me point out, super casual, just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news and taking a look at tabletop games. Tonight, we are going to unbox and take a first look at Brian Boru, High King of Ireland from Osprey Games. But first, we are going to jump into some of the latest tabletop gaming news of the day. Do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the dispatch streams live right here on YouTube, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also inform you when I upload other videos, such as my review of the 4th edition of Twilight 2000 from Free League Publishing. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in, and I will do my best to respond. So far, it looks like we've got a good chat busting out already. We've got the Motor City Madman with us. Yes, the Madman's here. John Vogel, Flaming Huron. So we've got both of our chat moderators, Madman and Flaming Huron here. And Mr. Eddie T is with us as well. Cool deal. We are off and running. So I do want to mention, I've had a couple of people email commenting that they feel that the live stream runs a little bit long. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do this Halloween, this Thanksgiving week's episodes in about 45 minutes or so. So let's see if I can actually pull that off. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's jump on into the news, because now available from Gale Force 9 is Dune Betrayal. Here's what I know. A game of intrigue, tactics, and deception. Are you loyal to the House Atreides or a secret agent for the treacherous House Harkonnen? In this game of tactics and deception, you are secret agents amid the sands of Dune. Your goal is to learn the identities of your foes while protecting your nobles, enact the age of strange new tools and allies to gain power and knowledge. Be clever, practical, and convincing. Hide your true nature while learning theirs. In the final rounds of battle, you must trust your gut. Whose back will you choose to defend, and whose will you stab? The fate of Dune will come down to you. Let the adventure unfold in the new classic social deduction game, Dune Betrayal. Take on the identity of iconic characters from Dune. Use your actions, tactics, and cunning I've got a cunning plan, my lord. To discover who your enemies are. Defend your allies and attack your foes to secure your victory. Dune Betrayal is for 4 to 8 players, ages 14 and up, plays around 28 to 48 minutes, and carries an MSRP of $25. Not too shabby, a pretty small price point. This looks like it could be an interesting social deduction game, especially if you are fans of Dune. And of course, we do see that the trade dress of it is the film that just came out. I saw it. I thought it was decent. For some, I got to be honest, I still like the David Lynch version. I don't know, maybe I just like the David Lynch version because it's all in one movie. And of course, I've read well, it was the first 3 books I read. So I at least had an idea what was going on. So Mr. Eddie T says they loved the new take on Dune. On to the next news piece, arriving next year from First Games. Although, got to be honest, it looks like it's supposed to be one First Games, and I will talk about that in a moment, is The Boys, This Is Going to Hurt. And here's the dope. In The Boys, This Is Going to Hurt, you battle with and or against Butcher, Huey, Frenchie, the female, Mother's Milk, members of the Seven, your favorite and most hated supers, and other characters from The Boys. You need to be fast, as after 21 rounds, Homelander makes it game over for everyone. Each round, you receive action points to spend on recruiting characters, buying additional resource or character cards, battling other players, and traveling the game board. Compound V facilitates most aspects of the game, and characters must be paid and defeated in combat to successfully recruit them. Missions are completed throughout to earn money, blackmail, and additional resources in an effort to build a team strong enough to take down Homelander. The Boys, This Is Going to Hurt, is for 1 to 5 players, ages 17 and up, plays in 1 to 2 hours. It's going to carry an MSRP of $59.99 for the standard edition, or $99.99 for the deluxe edition, which includes those miniatures that you just saw, when it arrives early next year. So this is based on the comic book. This is not based on the television series. So it's a little bit different. It is based on I think it's Dynamite Entertainment does The Boys, which I've actually read the series, well, up to Dear Becky. I haven't read Dear Becky yet. It's pretty wild. If you think the show is over the top, it's nothing compared to the comic book. Although I have to say, I think it's pretty strange that the sculpt for Huey, or as they like to refer to him in the comic as Wee Huey, he's holding his fiance's arms. So if you know the comic or if you know the show, you know what I'm talking about. And it's kind of like, wonder why they decided to go with that sculpt. Anyway, so I have to laugh because this is from One First Games, or First Games. And it's actually part of First Comics, which was the first independent comic company I ever bought a comic book from. And I remember I started reading American Flag by Howard Chaykin. Now, we're talking, I may have been a freshman in high school. May have been a little earlier than that. Maybe it's about 1980. So, First Comics with big number 1, but it's always been First Comics. Now they put a number 1 in front of the name, and I kid you not, I am not making this up. They put the number 1 in front of First, so then when the company is listed at, say, Comic-Con in the program, it's number 1. No joke. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know if this game is any good. I thought it looked kind of interesting, and it is the first release from First Games. I'm going to say First Games. I'm not saying One First, even though that's what everybody's going to think it's called. On to some role-playing news. So Flaming Heron asks, does he beat people up with her arms? Or is that in bad taste? No, he doesn't. It's just, in fact, if I remember correctly, I think the sculpt that they're using is from the last panel of the first comic when Huey gets involved with why he hates the supers. So I'm not spoiling anything if somebody hasn't read it or they haven't watched the series, even though the series has been out for, what, 3 years? So, on to some role-playing game news because Beadle and Grimm's will be making their first foray into Pathfinder Deluxe box sets with the Pathfinder Absalom City of Lost Omens Gold Edition. Here's the scoop. Officially licensed by Paizo, this Beadle and Grimm's box set will be filled with elements a game master needs to immerse their players into Pathfinder's most famous city. Whether they're playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Pathfinder 1st Edition, or even a 5th Edition rules-based campaign. This set will help a GM establish an incredibly detailed urban setting. It includes an abundance of maps. This Gold Edition is going to include several large-scale maps of the city, 6 24 by 30-inch battle maps, a map of the Starstone Isle, a map folder with 13 8 by 5 by 11, or I should say 8.5-inch by 11-inch district maps with a place for GM or player notes on the back. It's got in-world player handouts. When the player is handed an Absalom broadsheet or an invitation to adventure, the GM will actually hand these beautifully designed pieces to the player instead of simply reading them. It includes faction jewelry, coins, and coasters. Absalom comes with its own unique factions and organizations, and the Gold Edition will include 3 pieces of faction-related jewelry and a set of 4 in-world coasters, sure to delight the players and help keep the GM's table stainless. Also includes a set of coins of the realm produced by Campaign Coins, including a collectible gold coin that can only be found in this Gold Edition. It includes NPC cards and location cards. Designed to fit over the GM screen, these cards will feature artwork of important Absalom non-player characters and key Absalom locations on the player side, and important role-playing information or key location information on the GM side. The exterior features B&G original art, while the interior will give the GM the quick reference tables and city-specific information needed to smoothly run their game. Also includes bonus adventures. These short adventures, created exclusively by Beadle and Grimm's for this edition, take advantage of areas, maps, and important players in Absalom that can be dropped in by the GM or act as launching points for longer adventures of the GM's design. Paizo's complete published book is included in smaller booklets that allow the GM to organize the parts of the city needed for a particular session, whether it be an individual district, the comprehensive list of NPCs, or the introduction to the city. Purchasers of the Gold Edition will also be emailed a code to unlock Absalom City of Lost Omens online on Demiplane. Pre-orders for the Pathfinder Absalom City of Lost Omens Gold Edition will begin on Black Friday, November 26th, with an expected shipping in February of 2022. The MSRP is $349. Should point out, you can score a 10% discount if you order between Black Friday and November 28th. I have to admit, I always see the Beadles and Grimm stuff from a distance. You know, I see pictures, things like that. Always looks super cool. Never seen one up close. And I'm sure I will never see one to review. But I thought this is pretty wild. And this is the first time that Beadles and Grimm's is going to tackle Pathfinder. Thought that was kind of neat. All right. Moving right along. Now available in print and PDF from Onyx Path Publishing is the 5th edition setting book Legend Lore. Here's the deets. The realm of legend lore sits on an unstable nexus of reality and sees many visitors from other worlds. You are such a visitor. In legend lore, you have crossed from Earth into East Azoth, or Azoth, and become a changed version of yourself. A songwriter finds himself a bard, a scientist, a wizard. You might find yourself in a whole new body to better match your true self, including adopting a new fantasy race. Legend lore offers a diverse and inclusive world filled with adventure and mystery. Fight megalomaniacal dictators, explore magic and strange science, and claim your legend as you find a way back home. In the book, you'll find 18 backgrounds to play as yourself in legend lore, such as activist or scientist, legend mechanics to represent your destiny, plus 5 sample legends, 7 player races, including pixies and orcs, 2 new classes, the alchemist and gunslinger, and 15 subclasses, a starting adventure with 5 pre-generated characters. Drawn from the realm and legend lore comics, the Legend Lore RPG will whisk characters from our world to a magical fantasy realm filled with dragons, orcs, unicorns, and hobgoblins. With over 60 comics published covering 3-volume runs, the realm and legend lore combined became one of Caliber Comics' most critically acclaimed series. Do want to point out this is not a standalone book. You need the rules for the world's most popular role-playing game. Could that be? And you can get that, of course, as the regular books, or don't forget, you can also get a free SRD if you're ever wanting to use 5th edition rules with something else. You can score this 248-page book as a premium hardcover at Drive-Thru RPG for $69.99. You can get the standard hardcover for $39.99, or grab the PDF for $19.99. Gotta say, this looked kind of interesting. In Onyx Path, this is a bit of a departure for them, although they have done, it came from Beneath the Sea, which is not World of Darkness, because I do mostly World of Darkness stuff, but this is also not World of Darkness. So I thought, this looked kind of interesting, so I thought I would share. My final news piece, now available in PDF from Cubicle 7 Games, is the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game Archives of the Empire Volume 2. Here's the skinny. Welcome to Archives of the Empire Volume 2, a fascinating and diverse collection of articles on topics that cover the length and breadth of the old world. The second volume focuses on those towering walls of muscle and fat, the ogres, who hail from the mountains of Morn, but make their home across the Empire and indeed the world. Volume 2 details new locations, careers, and NPCs, perfect for inclusion in your next WFRP adventure. Archives of the Empire 2 includes Ogres of the Empire, 2 chapters dedicated to ogres, their place in the Empire, and their place at the gaming table. Included are 3 new careers, including the fearsome Ogre Butcher, who wields the magic of the Great Maw with bloody intent. There's star science and astrology. Some say their fate is written in the stars, while others find their future in the gutter. This chapter provides a description of the star signs that dot the heavens of the old world, along with the meaning that people invest in them. Though magical items are rare in the old world, they are coveted and powerful things. So the magical items chapter provides rules for generating magic weapons, armor, and stranger devices. There's the Great Hospice, a retreat from the perils of the world. The Great Hospice provides a refuge for those who need it and can afford it. Just north of Altdorf, the hospice is a dedicated and detailed location with maps, NPCs, plot hooks, and more. There's Theater of War. Though combat is a common feature of WFRP games, open warfare is rarely explored. This chapter provides rules for creating a cinematic battle in which competent characters can influence the outcome. Archives of the Empire 2 provides another varied collection of excellent and entertaining expansions to any gaming table. Packed with lore, NPCs, and exciting adventure hooks, this collection will kickstart your next adventure without actually having to go to Kickstarter in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. The 95-page PDF is available at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99, which I have to say, boo, boo. What's going on, Cubicle 7? You guys are my pals. What's with this $20 for a 95-page PDF? That is, too pricey. $14.95 maybe, and then I'd still be going, a little pricey. But yeah, I pick on other companies when their PDFs are overpriced, and even though I'm friends with folks over at Cubicle 7 and I love their stuff, I will not let them off the hook. I mean, $19.99 is too much to be paying for a 95-page PDF. That's just the way it is. So Flaming Heron says, certainly not slowing down on WFRP content, considering that Cubicle 7 is at the end of the Enemy Within campaign now. Yes, although we are still waiting for the 4th out of the 5 books in hardcover. So we were waiting for the physical books for chapters 4 and 5. So the Horned Rat is not out yet in hardcover, nor is the companion yet. So those should be on the horizon. Fleming Heron said, yeah, they noticed the pricing. They really do wait until sales to get some games when they do that. Don't blame you. We should have a Black Friday sale with Drive-Thru RPG stuff that they usually have a Black Friday sale going on. Speaking of Drive-Thru RPG, don't forget the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf site. So if you are going to visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also should mention, if you like thegaminggang.com, if you like this channel, if you like these videos, and if you want to buy me a cup of coffee or some soda, by all means, you certainly can. I do welcome that. You can swing by paypal.me, /thegaminggang. And we have people who do that as well. So always appreciate it. Very much. Thank you very much to everybody who either uses our banner ads when they go to Drive-Thru RPG or Dungeon Masters Guild. Hey, I didn't say Dungeon Masters Guide this time. Boy, Wednesday was just a weird day doing the show. I don't know what was up, but I was discombobulated. I'll tell you that much. All right. So I had an opportunity to go check out the Sandwich Gamers Club, Board Gamers Club at the Sandwich, Illinois Public Library on Saturday. Small club, nice library, and had some fun. It was pretty cool. There weren't a bunch of us, but I was like, hey, this was pretty nice. Got to play some of my games. Got to play some games I had never played before. One of them I'd never heard of before. And it was pretty cool. It was a nice way to spend 4.5 hours. So Mr. Eddie T says, damn close to my home. Well, I do want to point out that the next get-together, which I am going to attend, is December 18th. So it is the Saturday before Christmas. I almost said Halloween again. Why am I thinking Halloween? I don't know. I think it's Flaming Heron's chat icon looks like a pumpkin, which I know it's not. I think it's a sunset or something, but it's so small on the screen. Almost looks like a little pumpkin there. And I keep thinking pumpkin. Halloween. I don't know. Thankfully, I'm not discombobulated tonight. I don't think. Anyway, Sarah D is with us. Good to see you, Sarah. Saying I should come out and celebrate Plano Bologna Sandwich Day next year. I'm not a bologna fan, though. That's the problem. I'm not, just not. So the madman says, don't tell me Halloween is over. Ever. I could see. Yeah, I'm not far from Plano. I'm in Yorkville, Illinois. Plano's not far at all. All right. So, as I mentioned, we're going to see if I can put together a show and do it in like 45 minutes. So, I don't know if I can or not, because you know me, I tend to blab on and on and on. So, Mr. AT says, yeah, Plano's the next town from Sandwich. I know we, on occasion, have gone to the Walmart over there, because, of course, Yorkville doesn't have a Walmart. So, we have two Walmarts that are almost exactly the same distance. One's in Montgomery, Illinois, and the other is in Plano. I tend to go to the one in Montgomery, and my dad tends to go to the one in Plano, strangely enough. All right, let's move right along to our first look, because I am going to be taking a peek at Brian Boru, which is from Osprey Games. It is officially Brian Boru, High King of Ireland. Designed by Pierre Sylvester with artwork provided by Deirdre DeBarra. The game is for 3 to 5 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in around 60 to 90 minutes. It is available now, just recently came out. And it does carry an MSRP of $60. Flaming Heron says, chat is very distracting. So Mr. Eddie T says they're in Mendota. I forget how it's pronounced. I got to be honest. I don't even know where that, I've heard of it. I don't know where that's at. I'm a city guy. I spent 30 some years in Chicago. And then in my life, I have spent 30 some years. I think it's 36 officially in Chicago. Spent 10 years out in Arizona. I spent 2 years in Mishawaka, Indiana. I spent like 2 years in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So yeah. So, I mean, put me out in the suburbs and I'm like, 71, 34, what, huh? I don't know. I don't know what route is what. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got, look at that. Brian Boru, High King of Ireland. So I understand Osprey Games is trying to put together a lineup of kind of like middleweight Euro games. So Merv was the first release, which I've got a review of that coming soon. And Brian Boru is the second. And I will give you a bit of the background here. So Ireland is awash with would-be kings, power-hungry pretenders, and self-professed rulers. The provinces are in disarray, and the common folk are paying the price. The land needs a leader. In Brian Boru, you will strive to unite Ireland from under your domain, or I should say, under your domain, securing control through might, cunning, and matrimony. Join forces to fend off Viking invaders, build monasteries to extend your influence, and gather support in towns and villages throughout the land. To become High King of all Ireland, you will need to navigate a web of shifting alliances, outmaneuver your enemies, and grab history by the reins. Okay, let's dive on in here. I gotta say, I definitely like the artwork on the front. And I'm a fan of Pierre Sylvester. I definitely love the Lost Expedition. And then they did the Judge Dredd themed game as well. I thought that was pretty cool. So we got an English rule book and we have a German rule book. Let's take a look at the rule book first. Get that out of the way there. Not a lot of pages. So I understand this is kind of a trick-taking game with area control. So should be kind of interesting. So we got the historical note from the designer. So we've got 25 action cards, 19 marriage cards, 7 Viking cards, and then each player is going to get a reference card. So we have wooden discs, which I'm going to take a guess. We're using those to mark control of the various provinces, no doubt. We got coins, Viking control tokens, Viking raider tokens. So not only are you probably dealing with your fellow players, but also having to deal with Viking raids. Talking about our setup, how to play. So we have a preparation phase, draft phase, action phase, and upkeep phase. Got a nice illustrated example of an action phase. Talking about the upkeep phase. Marriage step, battle step, spoils of war, church step, and the claim regions step. And how the game ends. If there are no marriage cards left at the end of the upkeep phase, the game is over and final scores are tallied. Then we got a quick reference on the back. So only 12 pages, including our reference on the back. So that's not much at all. All right, we've got a punch board here. Let's see if this is the only one. No, seems like, yeah, I guess it is. I think we only have one. Nope, we got 2. Nice and thick. So we've got the various different tokens and coins. Same here. I think these were monasteries. I think that's what I just saw. And of course, those are their Viking raiders. And then we've got the game board, which looks like it's probably a decent size. Kind of give you a look at it here. So we've got victory point tracker that runs around it. Nice. So I'll take a stab in the dark that we're going to be using our tokens, our discs, the different colored discs, to mark these as who controls what. So there we go. We got the board. We've got tarot-sized cards here. And then we've got the discs. I mean, they're just wooden discs. I don't think we need to take a very close look at this. The man says an ancestor of his was a king of Ireland. Does that mean he automatically gets to win the game? I say yes. That's what I say. I say you get to automatically win the game if you play it. All right, let's get this open. We'll take a look at these cards here. Because we already know we've got a few different small decks. Flaming Red says, the Madman chat royalty? Yeah. Thanks for watching, me lord. So I think these might have been the action cards. And as we can see, we've got different arts on each. Are these marriage cards? Maybe those are, I don't know. Maybe they're marriage cards. Look like these are kind of battle cards. So I'll take a stab. Oh, that's kind of cool. The shield wall. Freedom! Yes, I know that is not Ireland, Scotland, but still, tossing that in there. Kind of interesting how, if you go in the order of value of these cards, how the images sort of tell a story. It's kind of wild. Interesting. So I think this is our action deck, right? They all have blue backing. This should be the marriage deck because here we've got the various potential brides and grooms, of course, because you'd be marrying off your daughters. There you go. Cormac McArt. It's a famous, I want to say, I think it was a Scot. So we've got those. Like Viking raid cards, possibly here. Definitely digging the artwork. I think the artwork's pretty cool. And then we've got 5 player aid cards, reference cards, telling us exactly what we do in each of the phases of the round. Sweet. And as you can see, these are large cards. These are tarot card size. So we've got the various different decks of cards. Got a little insert here. I'm actually going to see if I can fit the cards into this bag. I don't know if I will or not. Yes, there we go. So they don't go flying all over the place. So we got the cards there. Got the wooden discs again. We've got the cool looking board. We've got 2 punch boards of tokens. We've got the non-English rules. It would have been funny if it was like, yeah, we've got the rules in Gaelic and then in English. That would have been pretty funny. So that is what we find when we take everything from Brian Boru outside the box. Very cool. I am really looking forward to checking this out. Even though I am not a big trick-taking card game fan, that's just one of the aspects of this game. So Mr. Eddie T and Sarah D are picking on each other because they happen to be married. I think. I don't know. I think they live together, or maybe they're neighbors in an apartment complex because they always talk about how the other person's in the other room. So, all right. So look forward to a review of Brian Boru in the very near future. So what's coming up on the show tomorrow? I'm going to unbox and take a first look at 1848 Australia, which we talked about just last week. I was talking about this was coming out and it arrived. So how about that? So we're going to take a look at this. It is the latest in the 1848 series of 18XX games from GMT. So that is going to be on tomorrow's show. And then on Wednesday, we're going to take a first look at the limited edition of Empire of the Ghouls from Kobold Press. Yes, we're going to jump on into that because I have quite a lot of cool stuff from Kobold Press. And I think the month of December, is going to be like an RPG month. And I'm not going to say it's going to all be role-playing games, but it's going to be a lot. And I should point out, so Sarah says they may as well be married. So says that Mr. Eddie T's been shackled to this ball and chain for 12 years. Helga Ratbone has joined us, saying that they're watching from the balcony. So remember, I'm going to be doing the old school for the new year celebration, I guess we'll say, throughout January as I look at old school Renaissance role-playing games and doing some reviews as well. So still working on who's going to be part of it, but I will point out the fine folks that it is Autark. I just wanted to double check before I said Autark and been like, oh, wait, no, it's this. Were kind enough to send me Adventure Conqueror King system, or AXE. So they said this is the core book. This is the second edition. So I think this is fairly recent. I think this came out very recently. So just wait. So got this. I've got the Player's Companion. I've got this. This is the Barbarian Conquerors of Kenahu. I think it's an adventure. Oh, it's a source book. It's a setting source book. The Heroic Fantasy Handbook. Domains at War Battles. Domains at War Campaigns. Secrets of the Nether City. Is this a source book too? I think so. Oh, no. I think it's an adventure. I think it's a dungeon. Cool. And Capital of the Borderlands. I mean, look, I was like blown away because I was talking with Alexander. I think it's Macri. I'm not positive. I said, yeah, I'd love to be part of it. And we'll probably do an interview. And he said, I'll send you some AXE stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, holy cow. Like, this box was just loaded down with all these books. So we were going to be looking at that in January as well. But December is going to be role-playing games most of the time on this show. All right. That is it for this time out. So, yeah, I'm going to end up wrapping up in about 45 minutes. Cool. See, a little quicker. Try to get a little quicker. I'm sure it's not going to last. Anyway, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live right here on YouTube, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my aforementioned review of the 4th edition of Twilight 2000. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody who was hanging out, watching live, thank you very much. Those who took part in chat, always appreciate you keeping me company. And of course, I know there are other people out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live. I certainly appreciate you taking time out to watch as well. I will be back tomorrow. Remember, we're going to take a look at 1848 Australia. And until I see you next time, here's hoping all of you out there are enjoying plenty of great gaming with your gang. See you tomorrow. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.